All right. So, my wife wasn't really into X Men when we met. She kind of was, she kind of wasn't. But at this point, I've kind of like Stockholm syndromed her into liking the X Men. Do you think that's a good
Yeah, that's pretty
description?
accurate. Yeah.
And so now I'm going to hit her with 10 of the lamest X Men villain names and get her first reaction to them. Stay tuned. Nerdcore, the sickest YouTube channel around. Subscribe, brah.
I'm not looking at the paper.
Okay, so the first group is, well, it's a group. It's not just one villain, but the Nasty Boys.
Ew.
What's your first reaction to the Nasty Boys?
um. Well, okay, so when you get annoyed with the kids sometimes you're like, "Oh, you little nasty boys." So
Wait,
I
wait.
feel like that makes me think
Here,
of that.
let me add this. They were the personal strike force of Mister Sinister. You remember him from X Men '97? The
No.
dude with the white face and like the little, he had like that weird flowy cape.
No.
Okay, well, all right. Nasty Boys
The
makes her think
nasty
of
boys.
the kids.
Yeah, it does make me think of the kids.
All right. Y'all drop in the comments, who does the Nasty Boys make you think of? All right. Number two, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Blast Furnace. Oh, wait. Do you want the description? You go first. You go first.
Blast furnace.
Yes.
The first thing the first thing that comes to my mind,
Yeah.
it made me think of is it Tremors 3 where they call them the Blastoids, and it's like the little walking tremor aliens that shoot fire out of their ass.
I
That's
don't know,
kind of
man.
what
Reba was in one of those, right?
I don't know. No, Kevin Bacon was.
Yeah.
But they call them ass blasters or something like that. That's honestly what that makes me think of.
Uh, Blast Furnace was a robot designed to think it was a mutant and look like a huge walking oven. Dope, right? This is why I
A
picked.
walking
This is
oven.
why I
I
picked
don't
these
know
out
if
of
that's
some of the
like
wackest X Men
I don't
villains.
know if that's kind of that makes me go, "Oh, that's scary."
No, not
But
really.
like what am I going to do? Bake a pie in you? Okay.
Nah. All right, you ready for number three?
Yeah.
Forearm. Yeah, that's real shit.
That's
Did not.
real.
Yeah, it's a real villain from the X Men.
A forearm.
Mm-hmm.
Um it makes me think of my fucking forearm, dude. I don't know.
Well, he was a member of the Mutant Liberation Front. That was a terrorist organization, and he had he had four arms, like
Oh,
four limbs. Yeah, that's real shit.
they could have chosen a better name.
I'm gonna
That's
put
kind of
I'm gonna put pictures of all these guys on the screen too.
okay.
Dope, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one, this next one will have a special place in your heart because I do believe you have this tattooed somewhere on your body. Yes, on your foot.
What?
Dirt nap.
No. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't know if I just made you guys
that
go
probably
deaf from
blew
that.
out the camera, but that's okay.
Dude, that is fucking sick. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Dirt nap. Obviously makes me think of a dirt nap when you. That's what that means. So, well, at least to me.
Okay. Well, Dirt Nap was a mutant that turned into a huge rat, and you like rats.
No,
Yeah. Oh, we had two rats that passed. Rest in
they
peace.
took a
Let's
they
move
took a
on.
dirt
Let's move on.
nap.
Okay. This
What?
next one is one of my favorites, even though it's lame, because it was from one of my.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back to
Okay.
that.
All
Let's
right.
go back to
Back
that
to
last
Dirt
one.
Nap.
So when they saw him, they were like, "Look out! It's dirt nap."
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't. Maybe.
What?
Probably. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Okay, I think that's just as bad as like the oven, the
Yeah.
furnace, like
You're
a
right.
walking oven. Okay.
Okay. This villain came from one of my favorite eras of X Men comics, and that was the Age of Apocalypse. The name is Sugar Man.
What up, Sugar Man? Um, I don't know. I think that Sounds like that man has a lot of riz, as the kids would call it. I don't really think that's
Well,
Sugar Man.
yeah. I'll tell you a little detail about him. In the Age of Apocalypse, he had a lab, a like base camp thing, and he had a bunch of human slaves that he would experiment on. I feel like he had a kind of like sleazy trafficker pimp vibe in a way.
They called him the Sugar Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's lame too. I don't really like that one. Because it makes me think of like a dude that rolled around in some white powdered sugar. Did the booger sugar. Okay.
Okay. Number 6 that I picked. Actually, they totally messed him up in Deadpool 2 and did not represent the character well. But that is Black Tom Cassidy.
Is that racist?
No, he's a white guy. And
Well, that's racist.
look,
He's called Black Man?
look,
Black Tom? My bad, guys.
look, that's why Deadpool kept saying they were racist for killing him. But he was supposed to be like Juggernaut's main homie, and they totally ruined that because they made Juggernaut's main homie the little weird kid. But his power, he can focus his abilities through any wooden object.
What's his name? Black Tom?
Black Tom Cassidy. It was a dreadlock dude in the prison.
But he was white.
Yeah, and he's white in the comic too. I don't know.
That made me think of like a Black Tom Cassidy.
And he looks cooler in the comic than he did in the movie. In the movie, he reminded me of Drexel Spivey.
I don't like that. Move on to the next one.
Okay. Number 7, The Blob.
Ooh, that's cool. That makes me think of that horror movie, The Blob.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make me that. I mean, that's actually pretty terrifying. What was he?
He was a obese mutant who was super strong. If you saw that X-Men,
So first they're racist, now they're
fat phobic.
they're
Yeah.
they're fat shaming.
X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, he was that dude that he was fighting in the boxing ring. The
Oh.
Blob. Which that wasn't
Okay.
a very dope depiction because the Blob was supposed to be a villain, but they made it like his homie. But whatever. Okay.
Okay.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Nimrod.
He's like a dunce, huh?
No, he's actually an evolved descendant of the Sentinels. You remember what the Sentinels are? Those big
No.
robots when they killed more.
Oh.
Wolverine, pull back!
Yeah. Yeah. Nimrod. I just remember using that as like an elementary school. You're a Nimrod.
Yeah.
That doesn't really make me think of anything terrifying.
It doesn't
either.
strike like put fear in your heart.
No. Well, neither did Furnace Dude or Black
Or
Tom
Sugar
Cassidy
Man.
or Sugar Man. Yeah, no.
All right. The next one is, it's not really a villain, but he started out as a villain before he became like good in the comics. But also, this was during the Age of Apocalypse, so it was a whole different thing. But Dead Man Wade.
Dead Man Wade. That's familiar.
You want me to give you a little context?
Yeah.
Okay. Deadpool's name is Wade Wilson.
Yeah. Was that in the original? Or like, didn't they used to beat him?
Yeah, I told you about this before.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He was like a slave at the Age of Apocalypse, like a plaything, and they kept like cutting him up and abusing him and doing shit to him because he would just keep living. I feel like that was a missed opportunity to do Deadpool like that in the Age of Apocalypse, but
yeah,
maybe it was some weird plan.
And he was like a snarky kind of.
He was not that tight in the Age of Apocalypse,
okay.
Man. They did him dirty. And
Dead Man Wade.
Number 10. If people like this, maybe we can do part 2 of this. I know we're gonna do a Heroes one, and if you guys rock with this, leave it in the comments. We'll start doing a bunch of these, and because there's a lot of shit she don't know about, and I'm trying to make her like. But number 10, I Scream. Do you know where this is going? I.
He's an evil ice cream man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean that actually goes kind of hard, I'm not going to lie.
okay.
But
Well,
it's making me think of like melting ice cream screaming being
are you
like,
ready?
"Ah!"
Dude, this
What?
is like one of the hardest. This is one of the hardest mutant fucking abilities in the X-Men universe.
Okay.
He has the ability to melt and change into any kind of ice cream.
Ooh, see? I was right about the melting part. That's what that
Yeah.
made me think of. But turning into any kind of ice cream, that's kind of lame. I bet you they wouldn't turn him into Neapolitan because they're racist.
Yeah, true. So this is how did you think that there was so many ridiculous mutant names like that?
Yeah, I feel like they could have came up with some cooler ones, but
Well, one of the ones I didn't put on there because I don't, man, I don't think they could get away with it now. But one of them's name was Holocaust. Yeah, I decided to leave that one off the list. But yeah, there's some wild names.
no.
Yeah, that was one of Apocalypse's main enforcers.
Dang, and they made Magneto.
Oh yeah,
Oh!
oh. But anyway, if you guys like this shit, wait, you got anything else to say before we?
No, that one took me out, dude.
All right,
Nope.
rest in peace. If you guys like these videos, let us know in the comments. If you want a round 2 of this, let us know. If not, we're just gonna do the 10 lamest mutant hero names. Appreciate y'all watching. Peace.
Enjoy.